Thank you for buying a Brother sewing machine. This DVD is designed to give you an overview of the machine operation in line with the operation manual. Please note that some descriptions may not apply to the specifications of your model. First, let's prepare the machine for use. Insert the power cord plug into the jack on the right side of the machine. Insert the power supply plug into a wall outlet. Then connect the foot controller. Insert the foot controller plug into its jack on the rear side of the sewing machine. The sewing lamp and display comes on when the power is turned on. Now let's take a look at how to wind the bobbin and set the lower thread. Use only bobbins that have been designed for this sewing machine. Using other bobbins may cause injury or damage to the machine. Press the spool pin lever down and remove the spool cap. Fully insert the spool of thread for the bobbin onto the spool pin so that the thread unwinds to the front at the bottom, and slide the spool cap onto the spool pin as far as possible. Hold the thread from the spool with both hands and pass the thread under the thread guide. Then pass the thread under the thread guide cover from the back to the front. Pass the thread under the hook of the bobbin winding thread guide, and then wind the thread counterclockwise between the pretension discs, pulling it in as far as possible. Pass the end of the thread through the hole on the bobbin from the inside of the bobbin and pull through. Put the bobbin onto the bobbin winder shaft and slide the shaft to the right. Turn the bobbin so that the spring on the bobbin winder shaft fits into the notch of the bobbin. Turn on the power. While gently holding the thread from the bobbin, press the foot controller down lightly. Wind the thread around the bobbin a few times and then stop the machine. Trim the excess thread above the bobbin with a pair of scissors. Make sure not to leave any excess thread when winding the bobbin. Wind the thread again by pressing the foot controller down fully. When the bobbin is full, the bobbin starts to turn slowly. Take your foot off the foot controller to stop the machine. Cut the thread with a pair of scissors. Slide the bobbin winder shaft to the left and remove the bobbin. For models equipped with a sewing speed controller and start-stop button, turn the power on. Then place the bobbin on bobbin winder shaft so that the spring on the shaft fits into the notch of the bobbin. Slide the bobbin winder shaft to the right until it clicks. Pull the thread from between the pretension discs to the right. Wind it clockwise around the bobbin several times. And pass it through the slit in the bobbin winder seat to cut the free end of the thread. Slide the sewing speed controller to the right. Press the Start-Stop button once to start winding the bobbin. When the bobbin becomes full, it begins to turn slowly. Press the Start-Stop button to stop and cut the thread with a pair of scissors. Slide the bobbin winder shaft to the left and remove the bobbin from the shaft. Slide the sewing speed controller back to its original position. First, turn the power off before setting the lower thread. Raise the needle by turning the hand wheel toward you and raise the presser foot lever. The position is correct when the mark on the hand wheel points directly up. Slide the button on the right of the bobbin cover and open the cover. Put the bobbin in so that the thread comes out from the left side. Pull the end of the thread. Push the bobbin down lightly and then pass the thread through the slit. Make sure that the thread is correctly inserted through the tension adjusting spring of the bobbin case. For models equipped with a quick-set bobbin and needle position button, press the needle position button once or twice to raise the needle. Raise the presser foot, then turn the power off. Slide the button on the right of the bobbin cover and remove the cover. Insert the bobbin with your right hand while holding the end of the thread with your left hand so that the thread comes out from the left side. Guide the thread through the slit with your left hand and pull and cut the free end of the thread with a cutter. Replace the bobbin cover. Now you have completed the setting of the lower thread. Now let's take a look at how to pass the upper thread. Turn on the power and raise the presser foot lever. Raise the needle by turning the hand wheel toward you. Press the spool pin down and remove the spool cap. Fully insert the spool onto the pin so that the thread unwinds to the front at the bottom and slide the spool cap onto the spool pin as far as possible. Hold the thread from the spool with both hands and pass it under the thread guide. Pass the thread under the thread guide cover from the back to the front and pull the thread to the front. Hold the thread with your right hand and use your left hand to feed it along the guide following the numbers. To pass the thread through the needle holder thread guide, it is easier if you hold the thread with your left hand and feed the thread with your right hand. Thread the needle. Gently hold the end of the upper thread and slowly turn the hand wheel toward you once to lower and then raise the needle. Pull up the upper thread to draw up the lower thread. Pull out about 5 centimeters of both threads with your fingers toward the back of the machine under the presser foot and lower the presser foot. For models equipped with a needle threader and needle position button, press the needle position button once or twice to raise the needle. Hold the thread in your left hand and feed it through the needle holder thread guide with your right hand. While slightly lowering the needle threader lever, hook the thread onto the guide. Fully lower the needle threader lever. The hook passes through the eye of the needle. Catch the thread onto the hook. Bring the needle threader lever slowly back in place, and the hook will pull the thread through the eye of the needle. Draw the end of the thread from the needle's eye under the presser foot and pull about 5 centimeters of thread toward the rear of the machine. Now the upper threading is complete. Now let's start sewing. When the power is turned on, the straight stitch in the left needle position is selected. The presser foot used for the straight stitch is the zigzag foot J. Place the fabric under the presser foot, pass the thread under the presser foot, and pull out about 5 centimeters of thread toward the rear of the machine. While holding the fabric with your left hand, turn the hand wheel toward you to lower the needle into the fabric and lower the presser foot lever. Slowly press down on the foot controller to start sewing. When you sew the fabric, adjust the speed with the foot controller. Take your foot off the foot controller to stop sewing. Raise the needle by turning the hand wheel toward you. Raise the presser foot, pull out the fabric, and then cut the threads with the thread cutter that is found on the left side of the machine. For models equipped with a needle position button, sewing speed controller, and start-stop button, raise the needle by pressing the needle position button once or twice. Place the fabric under the presser foot, pass the thread under the presser foot, and pull out about 5 centimeters of thread toward the rear of the machine. Turn the hand wheel toward you to lower the needle into the fabric. Lower the presser foot. Adjust the sewing speed with the speed controller and press the Start-Stop button once to start sewing. Press the Start-Stop button again to stop sewing. Raise the needle by pressing the needle position button. Raise the presser foot and pull out the fabric. Then cut the threads with the thread cutter on the left side of the machine. Let's try reverse sewing. Lower the needle into the fabric where you wish to start stitching and lower the presser foot. Start the machine slowly, and when you have sewn 3 to 5 stitches, stop the machine. Press the reverse reinforcement stitch button and hold it to sew reverse stitches until you return to the starting point. When you have returned to the starting point, take your finger off the reverse reinforcement stitch button and sew forward again. You can reverse sew for reinforcement at the end of sewing as well by stopping the machine and pressing the reverse reinforcement stitch button. Now let's look at how to adjust the stitch length and width. You can adjust the stitch length as necessary. Make adjustments by pressing the plus or minus on the stitch length adjustment key. You can also adjust the stitch width of stitch patterns. Make adjustments by pressing the plus or minus on the stitch width adjustment key. After adjusting the stitch width, slowly turn the hand wheel toward you and check that the needle does not touch the presser foot. Now let's check the thread tension. This machine enables you to sew various types of fabric with the optimal thread tension. The tension of the thread depends on the type of fabric or thread. Try sewing with the piece of the fabric you are going to use and adjust the tension of the thread. Now let's replace the presser foot. Please select the presser foot suited to the stitch pattern. Before replacing the presser foot, be sure to raise the needle and turn off the power. Raise the presser foot lever. Press the button behind the presser foot holder to release the presser foot. Place the new presser foot below the holder so that the presser foot pin is aligned with the shank in the holder. Lower the presser foot lever to attach the presser foot. Now let's finish the seams. Use the overcasting foot G to finish the seams. Turn on the power and select an overcasting stitch using the stitch selection keys. Pressing on the keys on the right changes the number of the first digit. And pressing on the keys on the left changes the number of the second digit. We'll select pattern 6 for now. Position the fabric with the edge of the fabric against the guide of the presser foot and lower the presser foot. Sew with the edge of the fabric along the presser foot guide. Now let's try hemming. Attach the blind hem foot R to hem. Fold the fabric along the desired edge of the hem and then baste it about 5 millimeters from the edge of the fabric. Turn on the power and select a hem stitch using the stitch selection keys. Draw the flatbed attachment to the left and remove it. Prepare the fabric with the wrong side facing up. Raise the presser foot and position the fabric so that the edge of the folded hem is aligned with the guide of the presser foot. Then lower the presser foot. Turn the hand wheel slowly toward you and check that the needle slightly catches the fold of the hem. Sew with the fold of the hem against the presser foot guide. Now let's sew a buttonhole. Use the buttonhole foot A for sewing buttonholes. Use tailor's chalk to mark the position and length of the buttonhole on the fabric. With the buttonhole on the button guide plate, attach the buttonhole foot. Turn on the power and select a buttonhole stitch using the stitch selection keys. Pass the upper thread into the hole of the presser foot. Align the red mark on the presser foot with the front side of the marking on the fabric and lower the presser foot. Pull down the buttonhole lever as far as possible and position the lever behind the bracket on the buttonhole foot. Gently hold the end of the upper thread in your left hand. Lower the needle into the fabric and start sewing. After sewing, raise the buttonhole lever back. Let's take a look at how to change the needle and clean the machine. Before replacing the needle, raise the needle and turn off the power. Lower the presser foot. Hold the needle with your left hand. Loosen the needle clamp screw with the accessory screwdriver in your right hand and remove the needle. With the flat side of the new needle toward the rear of the machine, insert the needle until it touches the needle stopper. Hold the needle with your left hand and secure the needle clamp screw with a screwdriver. Make sure to turn off the power before cleaning the machine. Remove the presser foot, needle, and presser foot holder. Slide the needle plate cover release on the upper left of the cover toward you to remove the needle plate cover. Grasp the bobbin case and pull it out. Use the accessory cleaning brush or vacuum cleaner to remove any dust from the race and its surrounding area. Return the bobbin case to its original position. Make sure that the projection and tension adjusting spring of the bobbin case are aligned with the race. The Brother computerized sewing machine is designed with diverse useful functions. We hope you will enjoy sewing handmade pieces with your machine.